Mars, the ruddy, rocky and cold planet, is the fourth planet from the Sun and its sole neighbor. It's a red planet. For non-livable robotic explorers are paving the way to eventually get humans to the surface of this red planet. Mars was named after the ancient Roman god of war. This was because its reddish color was a symbol of blood. Because of iron minerals in the Martian detox dyes, the planet's surface looks red. There are signs of life on Mars seems to have existed long ago when Mars was warmer and covered with water. With a radius of 2,106 miles, Mars is about half the size of Earth. Its average distance from the Sun is 142 million miles. From this distance, it takes sunlight 13 minutes to travel from the Sun to Mars. Mars completes one rotation every 24.6 hours, which is very similar to one day on Earth, which is 23.9 hours. Martian days are called sols. It's a short term for solar day. A year on Mars lasts 669.6 sols, which is the same as 687 Earth days. Mars' axis of rotation is tilted by 25 degrees with respect to the plane of its orbit around the Sun. This is another similarity with Earth, which has an axial tilt of 23.4 degrees. Like Earth, Mars has distant seasons, but they last longer than seasons here on Earth since Mars takes longer to orbit the Sun because it's far away from the Sun. Another difference is here on Earth the seasons are evenly spread over the year, lasting 3 months each or 1/4 of a year. On Mars, the seasons vary in length because of Mars' elliptical egg-shaped orbit around the Sun. Spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern are the longest seasons. They last for 194 sols. Autumn in the northern hemisphere and spring in the southern are the shortest at 142 sols. Northern winter or southern summer is 154 sols, and northern summer or southern winter is 178 sols. Mars has 2 small moons, Phobos and Deimos. These moons might be captured asteroids. They are potato-shaped because they have too little mass for gravity to make them spherical. Mars has no ring. Mars has a dense core at its center between 930 and 1,300 miles in radius. This core is made of iron, nickel, and sulfur. Surrounding the core is a rock mantle between 770 and 1,170 miles thick, and above that, a crust made of iron, magnesium, aluminium, calcium, and potassium. This crust is between 6 and 30 miles deep. Mars is home to the largest volcano in the solar system, the Olympus Mons. It's 3 times taller than Earth's highest mountain, Mount Everest, with a base the size of the state of New Mexico. It seems Mars had considerable amount of water in the past. It has dry river valley networks, deltas, and lake beds, as well as rocks and minerals on the surface that could only have formed in liquid water. Some features even suggest that Mars experienced huge floods about 3.5 billion years ago. Today, water on Mars is found in the form of water ice just under the surface in the polar regions, as well as in brine or salt water, which seasonally flows down some hillsides and crater walls. Mars has a thin atmosphere made up mostly of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and argon gases. To our eyes, the sky would be harsh and red because of suspended dust instead of the familiar blue tint we see on Earth. Mars' atmosphere doesn't offer much protection from impacts by such objects as meteorites, asteroids, and comets. The temperature on Mars can be as high as 7 degrees Fahrenheit or as low as about minus 225 degrees Fahrenheit. And because the atmosphere is so thin, heat from the sun easily escapes this planet. If we are to stand on the surface of Mars, on the equator at noon, it would feel like spring at your feet. Just see 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 degrees Celsius, and the winter at your head, just see 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius. Occasional winds on Mars are strong enough to create dust storms that cover much of the planet. After such storms, it can be months before all of the dust settles. This is Mars, our home to be.